Have you ever just had that feeling that you're being played? You know, that the products you buy, the services you use, they all have these hidden rules and they're all designed to make you spend more? Well, you're not wrong. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and dive deep into the corporate playbook to expose the tactics companies are using that quietly, sneakily affect our wallets every single day.
All right, let's start with a situation I bet you've been in. It's late, you're trying to get home, and your phone battery is blinking red. It's about to die. So you open up a ride-sharing app and whoa, the price is double what it usually is. You just chalk it up to surge pricing, right? But what if? What if the app knew your battery was low and charged you more just because it knew you were desperate?
I know, it sounds like some kind of conspiracy theory, but a 2023 study in Belgium actually put this to the test. They tried booking the exact same Uber ride on two different phones at the same time. The phone with a healthy 84% battery, it got a totally standard fare. But the phone with just 12% battery left, yeah, it was quoted a shockingly higher price.
And here's the kicker. This isn't even a new idea. Uber's own head of economic research basically admitted this all the way back in 2016. Now, the company officially denies using your battery level to set prices, but he confirmed they absolutely know that people with a dying phone are willing to pay more. It seems like they have the data and, well, they have the motive.
And it's not just your battery being used against you. Get this, some apps have been accused of charging different prices based on what kind of phone you have. For instance, the grocery app Zepto was caught charging more for the exact same items, we're talking onions and grapes here, if you were ordering from an iPhone versus an Android. So the bottom line is, the price you see isn't always the real price. These are all digital tricks. But what about the physical products themselves?
Well, that brings us to Chapter 1 of the corporate playbook, deception that is literally built right into the products we buy. This isn't about sneaky pricing online. This is about the physical stuff on our hands, being designed from the very beginning to let us down.
It's a strategy called planned obsolescence. You know why your smartphone battery is sealed in, making it basically impossible to replace? That's it. It's the reason your phone starts to feel so slow after just a couple of years. Companies have the tech to make things last, but they intentionally, deliberately design them to fail, which forces you to go out and buy a new one.
And believe it or not, this trick is old. Like 100 years ago, light bulb makers actually got together and agreed to make their bulbs burn out faster just so they could sell more. 50 years ago, those super sturdy appliances that our parents or grandparents owned, the ones that lasted for decades, they were replaced by models engineered to die in just 5 to 7 years. And today, it's all about our electronics. And yeah, sometimes they get caught. In 2020, France slapped Apple with a massive €25 million fine. What for? For intentionally slowing down older iPhones with software updates without telling their customers. It was a textbook case of forcing an upgrade.
Okay, this next tactic is way sneakier, mostly because you might not even notice it's happening. It's called shrinkflation. The price on the tag stays exactly the same, but the product inside gets smaller. So you're paying the same amount of money, but you're getting less stuff.
Let's just run through a couple of quick examples, because you'll see this everywhere. It happens to our favorite snacks. A packet of Maggi noodles, it is shrunk from 80 grams down to just 55 grams over time.
It's happening with our drinks too. That classic bottle of Coca-Cola that used to be 250 milliliters is now just 200.
And it even happens with the absolute essentials. Walmart's toilet paper rolls have gone from 168 sheets all the way down to 120. They are literally shrinking everything from our snacks to our toilet paper, just hoping we're all too busy to notice.
Okay, on to the second part of the playbook, the psychological games. These are the tricks they play in their marketing to persuade you to buy, to manipulate how you see things before you've even spent a single cent.
Have you heard of AI washing? It's when a company just slaps a trendy buzzword like AI onto a product to make it sound way more advanced than it actually is. It totally plays on our desire for the latest and greatest tech. But that AI-powered washing machine you've been looking at? Yeah, it's probably just running on the same old pre-programmed settings it always has, just with a much fancier label.
And then you've got these misleading claims that prey on our trust in authority figures. You see it all the time. Ads for toothpaste or water purifiers claiming to be the #1 choice of doctors. But in a lot of countries, like India for example, medical professionals are ethically banned from endorsing commercial products. These claims are often just based on flimsy surveys or really clever wordplay to give you a false sense of security.
And honestly, who hasn't been a victim of drip pricing? This is where you see a great price for something like a plane ticket, but by the time you actually get to the checkout, the total price has exploded with handling charges and platform fees. They lure you in with a low number, and they're banking on the fact that once you've invested all that time in the process, you're not going to back out at the very last second.
So this all leads us to the final and frankly the most sophisticated chapter of the playbook, creating an entire system where you have no choice but to keep paying. It's all about locking you in.
This is a classic for a reason. It's called the razor and blade model. The idea is you sell the main product, the razor, for a really cheap price. Maybe you even lose money on it. Why would you do that? Because you know the real profit comes from selling the expensive proprietary blades that the customer has to buy over and over and over again.
And what's the most notorious modern example? Oh, it's printer ink. Companies practically give printers away because they make an absolute fortune on the ink cartridges. At an estimated $12,000 a gallon, printer ink is more expensive than human blood. Just let that sink in for a second. They even use microchips and software updates to block you from using cheaper third-party ink. It's wild.
So the obvious question is, why not just switch to a different brand? Well, here's the thing. Often, the choice we think we have, it's just an illusion.
Just look at the smartphone market. You might be standing there trying to choose between an Oppo, a Vivo, a OnePlus, or a Realme, thinking you're comparing different competitors. But in reality, they're all owned by one parent company, BBK Electronics. You're just picking between different marketing campaigns from the exact same source.
So, what can we actually do about all of this? It can feel like the whole game is rigged against us. And, well, it kind of is. But that means it's time for us to write our own playbook.
Here's a simple 3-step strategy. First up, call them out. Brands hate bad PR. When you spot shrinkflation, snap a picture and tag the company on social media. Second, go straight to the source. Raise your voice by emailing companies and asking them to explain themselves. And finally, spread the word. The more people who know about these tricks, the less powerful they become. Because at the end of the day, companies might write the playbook, but it's us, the consumers, who have the power to change the rules of the game. So the only real question is, what move are you going to make?